All right, let's break down that deal of the two bay shop we looked at earlier today. I'm going to break this down as a repair shop. If I was running a repair shop out of it, what the numbers would look like. So going through, here's the kind of what I did on pencil. I put this out on a whiteboard first and then did it on pencil. And then I ran it through ChatGPT. And I spent 45 minutes putting this all out. And ChatGPT pretty much came up to the same answer in 2 seconds. So actually, it was like 0.2 seconds. It was ridiculously quick how fast it figured out the exact same thing I'm going to show you. So first thing we break down is how much money we can make out of this shop in sales. So you'll be selling labor and you'll be selling parts. When you sell labor, you're selling time basically. And so if you're open 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, you have 40 hours a day per bay. And you have 2 bays in that shop. So what I have here, if you're billing out $150 an hour times 2 bays, this will equal $300 an hour. Now, as I go through this, this can be done a couple different ways. So if you've seen it different in your experience, just follow me to the end, and then we can kind of discuss that. And if you have anything else to add in the comments, please do. Anyway, $300 an hour, $300 an hour times 40 hours a week, 12,000 a week, all the way down. Basically, what happens as you divide that down to the month, you'll make $52,000 a month if you're at 100% efficiency. That's if your texts show up every day, your customers show up, you have every hour booked perfectly, and parts always is perfect. They never mess up. But in case they did mess up when they got a part on back order, or you got a part in California that's stuck there because there's a hurricane in Florida, or whatever excuse you heard from parts, in case that happens, you're not going to be at 100%. You're probably going to be way less, especially when you're starting out. But I would say a good goal is to be at 60% efficiency for your first couple of years, and then you can improve from there. But if you can get to 60% efficiency, where for every 10 hours you're putting a good 6 hours on the clock for each bay, you'll be doing pretty good. And that comes out to about $31,000 a month in labor. So for $150 an hour, you're going to sell at least $100 in parts. And on that, you're going to gross about $40 in profit for every hour. So same formula as above, that should give you about $8,500, $8,500 in gross profit every month in parts. All that together equals $40,000 a month. So that's your sales side of it. Now, there's other ways to add sales onto this, but this is just if you're selling basic repair work, changing out brake pads, alternators, maybe a little bit of maintenance, but more, the actual like, hey, this is broken, let's fix it type of stuff, which I think that shop could do pretty decent at. But let's break down the rest. Okay, so we're going to go here. We're going to go to what the expenses look like. So first are your fixed expenses. These are the expenses you pay for every month, and they stay the same. Your rent, your insurance, there's more in it. Your utilities can fall in this. Some people in semi-fixed, some put them in this because utilities do change, but generally you're going to pay utilities, your insurance, all these things that are going to be the same every month. And so I probably missed a couple, but you want to put savings away for CapEx expenditures. Basically, if you need to replace the roof, if you've got to repaint something, you want to put a little bit of money away every month. So that comes out right at the beginning, especially if you have slow months, you want to have some savings built up. Next is your rent. That place is $1,800 a month. Insurance for that building probably going to be around $300 to $400 a month. Call an insurance agent. If you get anything more than $400, you probably need to shop around some more. Missed items, I put $1,000 because I know I'm missing some stuff. Like I said, I just kind of did this off the cuff. Your semi-fixed expenses, these are the expenses that you're going to have every month. They're going to change. Advertising is going to be a big one, right? You need people in the door. You generally want to sell 6 hours a day per bay to hit your 60% goal. So to do that, if you're averaging 2 hours a ticket for repair work, that's pretty common. You're going to need 3 customers a day per bay. So 6 customers total. Not a whole lot of customers. It's a small shop. It's only 2 bays. I had utilities here. It can go kind of in either one. Policy is your expenses for when you mess something up. A tech's going to strip a lug nut. A tech's going to leave a drain plug loose. It's just going to happen. So you always put a little savings away every month for when those things do happen. Hopefully you don't have to use this every month and it just kind of builds up. If you are using this, then you got a training issue and you got to fix your techs. Shop supplies, this your rags, your brake cleaner, wheel weights, whatever, $500 a month is about standard for this shop. Laundry, take care of your guys, pay for their uniforms to get clean, $250 a month. They're already paying for all their tools and everything else, so try and take care of your techs as much as you can. Tools and equipment, this is your scanners, your ADOS things for the windshield calibrations, your tire light scanners, those types of things you'll constantly be buying. There's always something new because we got to keep releasing things. And then I know I'm missing other items on there. I know there's, the employee meals and the travel and entertainment, and there's a bunch of little things that go in your semi-fixed expense that constantly change every month. But right around $6,000, $5,950 is what I have. So your typical shop is going to look like this. Now this is a big shop, like 6 bays or more. You're going to have your owner. He'll generally take a draw every month, and he'll take some percentage of net profit. It's kind of how most owners will do it, but everyone's different how they run their business. Your manager for a shop today is probably going to be between $6,000 starting out for like your O'Reilly's manager every month, up to $10,000 plus if you're getting like a really good fixed ops guys from a dealership. Your riders, your Jiffy Lube rider is going to be $4,000 a month. A good dealer rider who's really good at his job is going to be $8,000 plus. If you're in the big city, now this is all for San Juan County. If you're in a big city, that rider could be $15,000 to $20,000 a month. So there's some really good riders out there that make a lot of money. Parts guys in this town, $3,000 to $6,000. O'Reilly's, you're going to be close to that $3,000. A dealership, you're going to be $6,000, $7,000 if it's a really big, fast-moving dealership. Master techs in this town, $8,000 to $12,000 a month. Apprentice techs, $2,000 to $4,000. Now, managers have a different view on what this looks like as far as techs are, as how to find techs. I personally believe in finding them straight out of high school and then training them. And for every 10 techs I'll find, I'll probably have 1 or 2 that'll stay and become really good techs. So that's my method of going and finding techs. Some people just like to poach other people's techs, or they like to put a lot of money out there and just attract techs and take them that way. I've never liked that plan. I've always liked to build my own people, my own processes. That's just how I've done it in the 10 plus years I did it. Add 5 to 10% for taxes, employee benefits, vacation, and you're looking at $24,000 to $44,000 a month in just employee expenses. That's not counting the rest of the expenses. The rest of the expenses, remove that guy. The rest of the expenses, you're looking at $35,000 to $55,000 with everything. Your employees, your semi-fixed, fixed expenses, all the little things. It adds up pretty quick. So for this place, for this shop, your total monthly profit or loss, if you're on the low end, you're going to be at $4,800 profit. And I would say that's pretty generous. If you make $4,800 with that much staff, I'd be impressed. You're really probably going to be closer to this losing $15,000 a month. This is, like I said, this is for a bigger shop. For this little shop, this is how I would do it personally. Everybody would do it differently based on their personality, right? I'm more of an introvert, reserved person. I don't like dealing with customers as much. I love talking to them, but I don't like selling to them. And there's a big difference, right? I'm not the best friend guy. I'm the let's fix the issue type of guy. So I work better in the back end. But if it was me in this building and I was running a repair shop, as an owner, I would be the owner, I would be the manager, and I'd be the parts guy. Parts kills shops all the time waiting on parts. It just destroys efficiency. It destroys customer trust. Anyway, parts is an issue. It's an issue everywhere you go. So I'm really good at parts. That's where I started out. So I would take on the parts and work really hard to make sure that part of the business was covered. So I put myself at $5,000 a month for a salary plus a 30% net profit draw every month. So whatever the net profit is, I'm taking 30%. If it's 10,000, I'm taking 3,000. If it's 1,000, I'm taking 300. My riders, I would want a really good rider on the front end. I'd want a really strong rider who I work really well with, a very good people person. I'd be personality testing everybody and try and find the most extroverted, friendly, understanding, empathetic person I could find, and I'd pay him about $7,000 plus bonuses. And then I'd find a really strong master tech, someone that's not only really good at working on cars, but is also a really good teacher, a good people person. Now that's hard to find in a tech. Techs are generally introverted. So to find a tech that likes to teach and guide people, it's a little bit harder. But I'd start that guy out about 7,000, and then we'd move up from there as the shop got bigger, and he'd get a production bonus for the hours he put on the board. And then my apprentices, I would start them out on a salary also, probably around $3,000 a month, and then also production bonus for them, and work really close with the schools or wherever they're at. So apprentices, I would generally like to have coming out of the tech schools, but I also like to train them. Some schools are really good, some are not. I've had mixed experiences taking students out of schools. So that puts it down to $23,760 for employee expenses. Decent drop. Total expenses after everything about $35,000 a month, equaling a monthly profit of $5,000 net. And I still think this is probably pretty high. I'm guessing it's probably going to be closer to $3,000 to $4,000 on average, because you have your slow months, you have your busy months. But yeah, so was that a good deal, right? So I think for this building, the price is $100,000 or $200,000. I think you're going to need $50,000 to $75,000 in repair, lifts, paint, electrician work, and it's going to take you 2 to 3 months to get it up and running off the ground. So if you put $300,000 total price of the property with your tools and everything, so say you do a little bit more, 100,000 in you're starting out, and you're making $5,000 a month, that's $20,000, right? Is that 20? No, sorry, that's $30,000 a year. That pretty much gives you a 20% return, which is decent. The S&P 500 does on average 10%, but you're going to be working 80 hours a week, every week for the next 2 to 3 years. You're going to get your butt kicked, and really, I think you're probably going to be lucky to make a 10 to 12% return. It's tough to get a shop started. I've been down that road before, and there's a lot of things that I know now that I wish I knew then. So would I do this? It's not quite what I'm trying to do. The space is it's just a little too small for me, and the return's not quite what I want out of what I'm trying to do. If I had a tech who was interested in this, if there's a service writer who's interested in this deal and wanted to pursue and start their own shop and was looking for like a consultant / partner, I would probably be really open to that. I would be happy to kind of be like a silent partner / someone's like get someone going, maybe help supply some funding for it to get them off the ground. That'd probably be something to be interested in. But really, for what I'm trying to do for this training center, it doesn't math out unless I have at least 4 to 5 bays. So if you're in San Juan County and you have a shop, 4 to 5 bays that you're trying to sell, or a business that you're trying to get out of, I'd be happy to talk to you and see where we can go from there. If you're interested in this building, please send a message to Shelbe Digiacomo. She's super awesome. She's looking to get this sold. It's a great location. I love the location of this building. It's on the corner at a stoplight, so it's going to get a lot of eyes on it. Your advertising shouldn't be very much at all. It's probably going to be a few signs, a couple TikTok videos a week, and you could probably fill this shop pretty quick. Anyway, that's all I got to say on this one. I'll probably do another one in the future. Let me know if you like these. Have a good day. So like I said, I asked ChatGPT, I gave it the criteria, location, and kind of the employee setup I would run out of a 2-bay shop. And it came up with similar numbers. It's a little different than what I had. It talks a lot about effective labor rate, which someone can dig into more later. Parts. So it had total gross 52 to 54K a month. It had my people just a little bit different in pricing. I don't necessarily like that, but it is what it is. And then it's got the owner pay a lot higher too. I'd probably do more of my owner pay to the writers and the techs, versus to me to start out with until we moved into a bigger shop. And then at that point, I would start probably to take a little bit higher. Well, percentages stay the same, but anyway, yeah. So there's definitely some potential there for the right person. I would say it's great for someone starting out, someone who's wanting to move maybe out of the dealer life or move out of their own shop and into their own spot. Like I said, I'm interested in talking about that if you're interested. On to the next deal.